Warning: viewers' discretion is advised as this may contain mature or triggering content. Story prompt: Secrets. Title: Sharing Could Have Saved You. It had only been a few days since Grace's older brother had been murdered. No one knew what happened to him, simply leaving her in the dark about his death. When she had tried asking the police about the investigation, they had blown her off. This just furthered her thoughts that her older brother had either been in some dark crap or had seen the wrong thing. Either way, it hurt, and she was at a loss. He had practically raised her, and she had been working hard to bring home money as well to help him pay the bills. She didn't want to be a burden on him, so she had gotten a job as soon as she had been able to. But now, as she walked home from the job, she couldn't help but feel as if she was being stalked. She used her phone to see the reflection behind her, seeing two men dressed in black, their faces covered with masks. And her first thought was that she was about to face the same fate her brother had. She picked up her pace as soon as she turned the corner leading to her house. She would have tried heading back to a more populated area, but there weren't any close enough, and it'd be risky to try and run past them. She started running as soon as she was out of their sight, but it seemed they had known her plan because they were still hot on her tail. She was so close! Her keys were out, and she was ready to fly into her house, but fate had other plans for her as a dog rushed out in front of her, making her trip and hit the ground hard. Next thing she knew, hands were on her, and she tried to scream, but they covered her mouth. "You're a quick one, aren't you?" She glared at them as they held her down. She didn't know what they intended to do to her, other than the fact that it was dark and they were alone. A million things flashed through her mind, but the biggest thing was the fact she wouldn't be able to solve her brother's murder. Tears began to stream down her face at that thought, because she wouldn't be able to bring him justice. "Oh, look, she's crying. Don't worry, girlie, we don't plan to kill you." The other man chuckled. "We could have a bit of fun with her." But he got smacked. "Not yet. She still needs to pay her brother's debt. You go toying with her like that, she might off herself." She shivered at their words. What debt were they even talking about? Last she had known, they didn't have debt. Her brother didn't gamble. So what was going on? "Don't worry, sweetie. Even if in the end you can't pay us, we can just take payment from your body, like you mentioned before." She wanted to scream at them, but her mouth was covered and she couldn't even budge. "Get your filthy hands off of her," growled a deep voice, making the two men jump slightly, and they released her. She scooted away from them as the two men faced off with another guy. He had tattoos running along his arms and neck. He had short, spiked hair, and he was holding a knife. This time, she screamed, standing and running for her house. She shoved the key into the door, twisting and yanking it out before darting into her house. She made sure to lock the damn door, ignoring the screams she heard from outside. How was her luck so bad? Running into 3 people that wanted to harm her? She pulled her phone out to call the police, but noticed the screen was broken. "Great. I don't remember signing a contract to be in a damn horror movie," she said, biting her lip before peeking out the window. She covered her mouth, seeing the 2 guys that had been holding her down on the ground, pools of blood forming around them. Worst of all, their killer was coming in her direction. She jerked away from the window, as there was a pounding on the door. "Grace Mitchelson! Open this damn door now! I need you to come with me!" How did he know her name? She backed away from the door, grabbing the closest object, which just happened to be a collector's baseball bat her brother had loved. "Perfect," she muttered, backing away from the door. Sure, she had a back door, but that led to a fenced yard with an even creepier back alley. She gasped when she heard the door unlocked. This guy had a key? Panic raced in the back of her mind, and she darted to her room, hiding behind the door. If she planned it just right, maybe she could knock this dude out and then use his phone to call the cops. She sucked in a breath as she heard him moving through the house. Grace, I'm not here to hurt you. I know you saw me kill those guys, but they are a part of a gang that killed your brother. He and I made a pact. If his job ever landed him dead, I would step up and keep you safe. His words sounded nice, but who in their right mind would believe that kind of crap? Her body trembled as he got closer. Grace, please. Why else would I have a key to your house? Not even those bastards outside had it. His words got to her. What if there was some truth to it? The other guys had been desperate to get to her outside of her house, but he had a key. She shook her head. She couldn't be swayed. She stayed hidden, waiting, and then he stepped through the door, and she swung, screaming. He ducked, dodging her, and had her arms twisted behind her, and the bat hit the floor. Grace, will you please listen to me? It all happened so fast she didn't have time to react. The thing she did notice was the fact that even though he held her still, he wasn't hurting her, not like the other guys had. He was just making sure she couldn't hurt him. Then again, she wasn't sure she could hurt him even if she had tried. Just feeling his muscles pressed against her back told her she wouldn't be able to escape. What do you want with me? She cried out, now feeling utterly defeated. I want you to stay safe. I know it may be hard to trust me, but I'm not here to hurt you like those guys. Didn't your brother tell you the code? What? She was shocked when he let her go. A code, if something happened. She frowned, thinking about the previous conversations she had held with her brother. I know he was muttering about something maybe happening. He told me, crap, I can't think right now with everything that has happened. Something about a wolf, shadow, and a moon? She groaned, rubbing at her temple. The man nodded. The wolf has passed, so the shadow must cover the moon. She nodded. Yes, though I thought he was drunk, so I didn't pay much attention to him. What does that mean? He sighed. Think about it. The wolf has passed, aka your brother is gone. The shadow, that's me, must cover the moon. You are the moon, Grace. She was still frowning. That, so you are what, my brother's shadow? The man chuckled. No, but we did work together. There was clear doubt in her eyes, but she didn't speak any more. Let me introduce myself. My name is Quentin Zells, and I am here to keep you safe, at your brother's request. She nodded. Okay, and what exactly is it that my brother did? Why was he murdered? Why did those men demand money from me? And also, why are you able to kill them with such ease? Whoa there. I will answer all your questions in time, but for now, I need to get you to a safe place. Once those thugs don't report back, they will come here directly. You have to come to my place. It seemed odd, but then again he hadn't hurt her, or held her against her will, technically. For crying out loud, he even knew the code her brother had muttered to her once when he was drunk, and had a key to the house. She nodded. Then I will trust you. For now. He nodded. Pack up some of your stuff. I will wait for you at the door. Just basics for now, and then we can go get you more stuff if needed. This may take longer than either of us will like. She headed to her room, packing a bag full of clothes and then her toothpaste and toothbrush, before appearing once again. Okay, so how are we leaving? If you expect me to run, you're out of your mind. I'm already exhausted. He held up the keys. We are taking my bike. It's fast and I can lose anyone who tries to tell us. She gasped. Are you serious? I've never been on a bike. He chuckled at her. Did I say you were driving? All you have to do is hold on tightly, my moon. She shook her head. Don't call me that. Not when you know my name, okay? He chuckled. Yes, yes, let's get going. I'm sure they're almost here by now. They rushed out the door, locking the house even though she knew they'd break the door down to try and get to her. She wanted to leave proof that someone was after her. After all, someone would start to worry after a bit, and if they came to her place and saw the door busted and her missing, then perhaps something would be done to solve her brother's murder. She got onto his bike, nervously wrapping her arms around his waist. I suggest you hold tight. We aren't going slow. She was going to protest, but he launched the bike, making her squeal as she clung tightly to him. It didn't take long for them to reach his place. Then again, she had her eyes shut most of the way, ignoring how fast they sped down the road and the weaving and dodging he had done. As soon as the bike was off, she jumped off of it, her legs shaking, and she laid on the ground. Geez, you are weak. She glared at him. You don't know how to drive. Quentin simply chuckled. Are you dead? Well, no, he smirked. Then I do know how to drive. She groaned, getting up as he unlocked his place and let her in. She wasn't sure what she had expected. Perhaps chains on the walls and a torture chair, knives and guns everywhere. But there was none of that. His place was tidy and clean. She glanced around for a bit before sitting on the sofa. So now can you answer my questions? He nodded. Though I can't say you're going to like it. She wasn't sure what he meant by that until he started explaining everything. Your brother was an undercover agent. Our job was to take down the major drug dealers and mafias in the city. She stared at him as if he had grown another head. I'm sorry, what are you saying my brother did? He fought, killed, and arrested bad guys. She still stared at him as if he were insane. My brother couldn't even kill a spider, but you're telling me he killed people? Quentin sighed. This is why I told him to let you know, even though it was dangerous. You aren't so weak to let someone trample all over you. Hell, you were ready to try and take me out with a bat. And you aren't stupid, I can tell that much. She frowned. I had no idea. She bit her lip. If he had told me, perhaps I could have helped him. Quentin wore a soft, sad look. I know I'm supposed to protect you, but what if I train you as well? She thought on his words. Yes, please, I want to be a part of this. That way I can feel like I've put my brother to rest with my own hands. He smiled. Then let the training begin. The end. Yeah, I'm cutting you off right there, right at that point. But don't worry, next week you'll be able to find out how Grace's training is going and if she gets the justice for her brother like she intends, or if, they all end up dead. You'll never know until you wait until next week. And if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye!